Hi, and welcome to this little film about our Prospector Shack tent. This tent is a classic ridge tent, and as you see, even though it's quite compact, it's actually very roomy inside, and that's because of the construction. It is almost like a small house, so you have steep walls on all the sides that makes it very good space inside all the way around. What you'll see is that you have a good ventilation actually because of mesh on both sides, protected on the eaves, and the same on the front and the rear. You do have ventilation as well, which can be closed with curtains. The Prospector Shack is a part of our Outback range, and that means we're using our HydroTex Polycotton fabric. And that's a mix of polyester and cotton, and there's no coating on the back side. And that means you have a very good breathability, but it's still waterproof. And that's because of the very tight weave and the content of cotton. And what happens with cotton when it gets wet is that it expands, and the already very tight weave get even tighter and make sure that water will just repel off the fabric. So you have a good breathability, but another good thing about the cotton is that you also have a longer lifespan on the tent, because what normally happens with UV is that they degrade the fabric, but the cotton helps it have a much longer lifetime. The tent is inspired by the old gold digger tents used by settlers in the late 1800s. So we also wanted to make it possible to use a wood stove inside the tent. If you don't want to use the wood stove, the roof here is totally sealed by this piece of fabric. But if you want to use a wood stove, you can quite easily open up and make it possible to take out the chimney through this hole. The tent comes with a fully sealed sewn-in ground sheet in quite a tough Oxford polyester with a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters. But if you want to use the wood stove, like we talked about before, you can quite easily open up this piece of fabric here on the floor and roll it back, and then have the wood stove here and a protected area that corresponds still quite well with the opening for the chimney in the roof. The Prospector Shack is built on a very sturdy steel pole construction that consists of two A-frame poles, one in each side that hold up the sides, and then a ridge pole on the top. And that creates a tent that is very wind stable. Like most of these kinds of cotton tents, also the Prospector Shack comes as a single layer tent, only one piece of fabric. But you can decide if you want to buy an inner, and we have them in two different sizes. You can buy the small inner, which is covering half of the tent and is big enough for 2 to 3 people, and then there's still remaining some living area in the other side. Or you can buy a full-sized inner that works well for a whole family or a bigger group. Besides that, we also offer a tarp solution that can be connected to the tent and extend like a porch area for the tent, and really gives a lot of extra comfort to the tent. Also this part is covered. Besides that, we obviously also offer different kinds of wood stoves.